The Outside Cat by Jane Thayer. Illustrated by Feodor Rojanovsky. Published by Brockhampton Press Limited, Leicester, 1958. I love this story and its wonderful illustrations, and still have the treasured edition given to me when it was first published. Sadly, it is no longer in print, so I obtained permission from the Hachette children's group to narrate the story and share the illustrations with you on YouTube. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and who knows, we may persuade the publishers to reprint it. Samuel was an outside cat. He was an outside cat because he was never allowed inside. The people in the house were good to Samuel. They put bits of meat and sometimes a saucer of milk in the yard for him. They did not invite him in because they had an inside cat. On cold winter days, when even Samuel's fur coat could not keep him warm, he could see the inside cat sitting snugly at a window looking out. He decided to be an inside cat if he could manage it. Sometimes the inside cat came out for a breath of air and a stroll around the garden. Samuel explained that he would like to be an inside cat. The inside cat yawned. "Oh, but you can't be an inside cat." "Why?" said Samuel. "Because I am the inside cat." And the inside cat got up lazily and went to the door, which opened for him, but shut in Samuel's face. In spite of what the inside cat said, Samuel still hoped to be an inside cat. He watched the door closely. He saw that when the postman came, the front door always opened. That was the way to get in. The next time he saw the postman coming, he rushed to the front door and slipped inside. But someone put him out. When he saw the laundryman coming, he rushed to the back door and slipped inside. Someone put him out before the door closed. Samuel saw a shelf outside the window where the people put flower pots in the summer. He jumped on the shelf and looked in. "If I can see in, why can't I get in?" "Meow," he said. "Let me in." The inside cat jumped up inside the window. "Meow," he said. "Go away." So Samuel sat outside the door. He felt sure that if he sat long enough, he would get in. People went in and came out. Samuel dodged inside between their legs. Everyone picked him up, politely of course, and put him outside, saying, "You are an outside cat." One day, Samuel was sitting outside the door, waiting to get in, when he saw a big van stop in front of the house. 2 men got out. They opened the back of the van. They came up the path and rang the bell. The door opened and they went in. So did Samuel. Nobody stopped him or put him out. "At last I am in this house," thought Samuel, "and I am going to stay. I'll get under this chair and they won't know I'm here." He was sitting quietly under the chair when, to his great surprise, somebody picked up the chair and carried it off. "Well," thought Samuel, "I shall get under that table." He was sitting under the table when, to his great surprise, somebody picked up the table and carried it off. "What's going on here?" thought Samuel in alarm. "I'd better get under that bed." Somebody picked the bed up and carried that off too. And there sat Samuel in an empty house. All the furniture had been moved out. All the people had moved out. Even the inside cat had moved out. "This is a fine thing," said Samuel to himself in disgust. He walked around the house. He couldn't find a bite of food or even a soft spot where he could take a nap. So finally he decided that he might as well go out. Only he didn't see any way to get out. He jumped on the windowsill, where he had often seen the inside cat sitting, and looked out. "If I can see out," he said, "why can't I get out?" Meow! But he couldn't get out. He jumped down and went to the back door, but it was closed. He went to the front door, but it was closed. By this time, Samuel was very anxious to be an outside cat once more. He wandered about the house looking for a way out. Suddenly, Samuel's ears pricked up. He rushed to the front door as a man opened it. Samuel dodged between his legs and slipped outside at last. Then he crawled under a bush to calm down. Men began to unload furniture from a moving van. They took in a chair. They took in a table. They took in rugs and a kitchen stove and all sorts of furniture. Then they closed up the van and drove off. Some new people drove up in a car and went into the house. Samuel watched it all. He watched the house for several days. It began to look cheerful and homey. Finally, he decided again that he would like to be an inside cat if he could manage it. He marched boldly to the front door and sat down. Someone opened the door and came out and cut a branch of red berries from a bush. Samuel leapt up the steps. "Here is somebody's cat," said the people. "Go home, kitty." Samuel went to the back door. Someone opened the door and came out to get some wood from a pile. This time he managed to slip inside. No one saw him. "At last I am in this house," thought Samuel, "and I am going to stay. I'll get under this chair and they won't know I'm here." He got under the chair and fell fast asleep. The people in the house put the red berries in a yellow bowl. They put the logs in the fireplace and built a crackling fire. They sat around the fire while the flames danced in the fireplace. "How cosy it looks," they said, "with red berries in a yellow bowl and flames dancing in the fireplace. All we need is a pussycat curled up in front of our fire." At that moment, Samuel woke up. He heard the fire crackling. He crawled out from under the chair and stretched and he yawned and he sat down to blink at the fire, just as if he were the inside cat and belonged there. "Why, here's that cat!" cried the people. They all looked at Samuel. "Maybe he hasn't got any home," they said. "Let's let him stay and be our cat." Samuel pretended he wasn't listening, but his ears twitched. "It's a smart outside cat who gets to be an inside cat," he said to himself. Then he curled up in front of the lovely fire and purred.